Hey all, so I don't go over news that often because I feel like a lot of people get the news daily, but this was a pretty interesting article that I had to share concerning LaVar Burton and his Jeopardy stint that he did. So he actually wasn't going to do Jeopardy until he got a big push from his fan base. A lot of them were probably Trekkies. Honestly, maybe all of them were, but it really kind of spiked him up and he got a shot at hosting Jeopardy. So the article said that he criticized a journalist on his Twitter. And there's actually a lot of Jeopardy drama, here. So the previous host passed away and the organization is looking for a new host. And it seems like a long-term gig, honestly. So you're not going to just do a couple episodes here and there. You're probably going to stick around and do it for years and years and years. So I don't watch Jeopardy except when I'm at my grandpa's, but I'm familiar with the show and it's something that's been around ever since I was a kid, so I'm kind of interested just to see what happens. But LaVar Burton said he was done with Jeopardy. He did one episode, and Jeopardy went with a Mike Richards, who lasted a single day as a full-time host because of a scandal and controversy that forced him to resign. So I don't know what that scandal is. I'm not going to look into it because I don't want to spend too much time on this. But frankly, I thought, LaVar Burton is Geordi and the guy from Reading Rainbow. Here's a couple of clips if you haven't seen it.
Reading Rainbow, butterfly in the sky.
All right, I'll put it to you this way. All these feelings that get in the way of human judgment, that confuse the hell out of us, that make us second guess ourselves.
He was always a nice character in everything I saw him in, and frankly, I only saw him in Star Trek and in Reading Rainbow. They used to play Reading Rainbow when I was in school. So I figured, how mad could he have gotten? Really? How mad could Geordi get? But when I read through this is over Twitter, because Twitter is typically what older folks use, and LaVar Burton's in his 60s. And here's the clip from Jeopardy, actually, when he hosted.
Our final category today is Shakespeare's plays, and here, players, is your clue. Let's all sink with the king is a line from the opening scene of this play. You have 30 seconds. Good luck.
Really, all you can see is that he's older. He's got a little bit more of a raspy voice. I mean, that's totally normal, but he seems like he's in good health, and he has a lot of the same mannerisms I remember seeing him in the 90s with Star Trek, and more recently because I'm revisiting Next Generation. But essentially, this gentleman, Stephen Battaglio, basically called out LaVar Burton saying, you're not going to host Jeopardy unless you get a contract. Because LaVar Burton said, I don't want to do it. He had been reached out by a lot of fans, and he said, I don't want to do this. I don't really have a lot of interest in Jeopardy, and I'm not into hosting shows. So then he snapped back and basically said, no, I really wouldn't want to do it, essentially, even if I was offered. And so then Steven says, okay, I believe you. I hope you land something very, very big soon. And so this guy, Steven's being super sarcastic because I frankly haven't seen LaVar Burton in anything recently. And I was talking to my dad about it because we're both Star Trek fans, and LaVar Burton, a lot of the guys and girls that were in Star Trek, if you look at their IMDb pages, they don't have much else other than Star Trek, and some of them go on to big careers, like Patrick Stewart. But a lot of them, they did Star Trek, they might have gotten some money from it, they did a few other things, and then they're kind of more or less set for life, or they did something else. I don't know how much money you could get from Star Trek, but you probably go to cons, you have some other stuff you have going on, but nothing too big in Hollywood because you're probably typecasted. But clearly, LaVar Burton was irritated by this guy. So he says, Steven continues with, it was an opinion, I apologize to him and his fans, so let's move on. And then LaVar Burton says, no, Steven, you don't get a pass. You made an erroneous assumption about me and made them public. Throughout this entire ordeal, I have done my utmost to take the high road in spite of the amount of vitriol and bile some folks have felt necessary to post on my timeline. So I think this Steven guy was trolling him. I honestly have not looked it up. This was as of this week, a couple days ago, September 17th. And then LaVar Burton actually drops the F-bomb. He put an asterisk in there so you can't read it. But it really made him mad, and so I kind of thought, is he salty in his old age? Was he excited about Jeopardy because he did it, and then honestly just kind of fooled himself into thinking that he didn't want to do Jeopardy? But I don't know. I kind of believe what he said. I don't think I'd want to do a game host stuff either. He probably wanted to try it, and then I don't remember him being in anything else that did hosting like that. So Jeopardy is very academic. It's you're not creative really at all. You get to say a few one-liners if you're witty enough, and you get the time, but it's a very proper show, so he probably just didn't want to do it. And plus he's going to be 70 pretty soon, so a couple of years. He's probably close to being retired. I don't know if he really wants to do anything else, but it was just interesting because Geordi got pissed, and he really did. I mean, that was a long, drawn-out retaliatory statement, and I don't see that very often because a lot of people are so used to it. But I think he's also been out of the limelight for so long that he was really letting the trolls get to him. So, trolls are, as you all know, if you're on social media, trolls are really obnoxious. I actually go through my comments now, and I hit them here and there because there's trolls and I don't feel like dealing with them. So the best way to get a hold of me is Instagram, DMs, or my email. But maybe he was just, frustrated. Maybe he did have a lot of stuff that was pissing him off, and he just lashed out. And I think he did have a good reason. This Steven guy was being super sarcastic, like I said. But anyway, wanted to share that for all you Trekkie fans out there. If you were not following LaVar Burton's Jeopardy stint, then here you go, But also, I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to hit that notification bell. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and take care.